That's how I got into photography. Pretty wild, because I was not a photographer at the time. No idea what I was doing. And a friend of mine was like, hey, you should probably be doing this full time. And I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm doing to be doing full time. So he went and bought me a camera, and the rest was
You didn't have a camera when you got to 60,000?
No.
With photography, I've had the chance to go all over the world, and I oftentimes get asked, where's my favorite spot I've ever been? And usually without fail, I will always say Israel. The miseducation of Israel is a real thing. Someone came up to me and said that Israel was a problem in the Middle East. I think that's just due to probably lack of experiencing it. Even when I've been in other parts of the Middle East, you learn a little bit more too. It's like with perspective and how people view it all and what's going on with the conflict. There's a lot of depth of detail. And to just have an immediate opinion that's so harsh and projected, I don't think is fair. When I look at even Jewish holidays, one of them being Shabbat, like to be able to say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give up everything for 24 hours from sundown to sundown. I'm gonna remember what it's like to just be a person. I'm gonna stop working. I'm gonna stop my responsibilities, and I'm just gonna not only care for myself, but I'm gonna care for the people around me and enjoy life. That nuance of life doesn't exist here, really. Like we're on the grind all the time, enjoying what God has designed with Shabbat, and knowing that it exists for a purpose and for a reason. And to be able to actually go experience it in Israel is a beautiful experience. When we look at Israel, and the more I come back to the IC trip, and the more that I spend time with my family that so deeply loves Israel, and the more that I spend time with thinkers that also are divulging everything that's going on over there, I always come back to one thought and one premise, is that I'm infatuated with what God does. Another moment in Israel, I think that marked my life, was when we were at the Garden Tomb, getting the chance to worship together and be together, and it just kind of let it all sit in, like experiencing, like this is where Jesus rose from the grave, conquering Satan, sin, and death so that we could have life in him. All in one place. Forever changed my life. As a Christian, I do believe that it's part of my job to defend what's God's. I love miracles. And we're watching one of the greatest miracles happen in modern day Israel. And we're watching the Bible come to life. We're watching God reinstate his people. We're watching so many prophecies and promises and covenants, and we're watching it unfold before our very own eyes.